Happy New Year, everyone. Vintage Vinny here, and welcome to my eBay sales for December 2024. So I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to seeing what 2025 brings us. So before we jump into the actual sales, I wanted to bring something to you all's attention. I don't know if you follow my eBay store or not, but if you do, you probably noticed that my shipping prices went down on pretty much everything that was possible to. So, long story short, 2 days after Christmas, Dad had told me he bought a storage unit and he needed help cleaning it out. So we drove out to where his workplace is, or near his workplace, and the storage unit, we were cleaning it out. We got there at about 10-ish. We were there till about 4:30-ish. And then we went out to dinner. And we were just talking about eBay and how our sales have been doing and such. And I had mentioned to him that whenever I go to list something, I couldn't find ground advantage for a lot of my items. So I would just hit priority mail for everything unless it was obviously, of course, not worthy, and I would have first class pop up. So I showed him the shipping screen on my phone and told him I just couldn't find ground advantage. I don't know what all these shipping policies are. And he told me that at the beginning of the year there was a change in something. You can either opt in or opt out of the shipping plan that eBay has. And as soon as we got home, maybe a couple days after we had gotten home, I decided to go ahead and change it up. So I went in based on the instructions to do so from the eBay community tab, and I opted out of that. And thankfully now I can find ground advantage and all those other cheaper shipping options on when I'm doing listings. And what's really nice is that having an eBay store, I can just automatically change it for all of my listings. So I didn't have to worry about going and doing it for over 300 items. I could just change them all automatically, which was a huge relief. That means I didn't have to spend a long time doing that on the computer. So that was a huge step, and I apologize if you overpaid for shipping on something. Granted, if it was a really significant overcharge, I refunded the buyers immediately. So hopefully now, with me opting out of that shipping policy, the prices should be a lot better on shipping for stuff in my store. Again, I apologize for that. I had no idea that I could opt out of that shipping program. I thought it was just something new that eBay had started. But I am thankful that I don't have to worry about it anymore and that it has changed and everything is as good as gold now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out my sales for the month of December. So the very first item on the list is this really awesome 1960s Enid Collins Flora pattern box purse. I bought this at a Finders Keepers consignment store that we have here. I want to say I paid about $17 for it, and I had it listed for a while, and it finally did sell for full asking price of $149.99. So if you all watched my haul from the Queen City Flea Market, I bought literally a ton of stuff. There was so much that I found. It was It was crazy. 3 floors of treasures, and I literally found stuff left and right. I just couldn't believe it. So one of the items that I did end up selling was this Jafra John Day fragrance body oil. I paid $1 for this, and I sold it for a best offer of $30. And it's full. I don't know that they make this stuff anymore. I mean, the bottle looks kind of old. I wonder if I could make out the year, or if there is even a year on it. I know that's a very blurry picture, but I don't see any year on it. But anyway, that was a pretty good return on investment, paying only $1 and it's selling for $30. Heck yeah. So this is another item that I have had in my eBay store for a while. This is an Ernesto red enameled cast iron roaster. I bought this at a Goodwill for only $10. It was brand new in the box. And like I said, it did sit for quite a while. But I was really happy that it did sell for full asking price of $59.99. So I just couldn't say no to that. So back in July, Amy B and I were supposed to go to the mile-long yard sale that happens here. And I usually go on the weekend beforehand because the places are not picked over. But for whatever reason this year, we went and there was nobody set up. It was the weirdest thing. So it was just a weird year regarding that. So we both got up and, got ready for this, and there was nothing. So I suggested, why don't we go to a flea market, an indoor flea that we both hadn't been to in quite a while. So we did, and I found some pretty good stuff. One of them was this really awesome Interlude Light Cologne Splash by Francis Denny. Anytime I see a bunch of perfumes or colognes or anything like that in a booth, and the prices are reasonable, I always like to look them up because you just never know. And that was the case with this product. I paid only $5 for it. It was listed for a while, probably within the last few months, and it did sell for a best offer of, I think, $198. I'm telling you guys, discontinued perfumes and colognes, or any kind of product, look them up because you just never know. You might have a nice return on investment like I did with this one. So this is another item that I had sitting in my store for a while, this 1960s, 70s bright yellow rotary dial telephone. I do believe I got this at a Goodwill. Paid $10 for it, and I sold it for a best offer of, no, I'm sorry, I think I actually got full price for this, $39.99. So I was in Bedford, Pennsylvania, I think maybe a few months, no, probably earlier this year, because I went during inventory, and then I went again, and then I went again a few months ago. I think the same time I went to the Queen City Flea Market. Anyway, and I found this Corey Drew vacuum coffee brewer percolator thing. Never seen it before. And I paid $6.99 for it, and it did sell for, I believe, a best offer of $69. $65, I'm sorry. So 7 turned into 65, that's pretty good. So when I'm looking at glassware at Goodwill, I never know what I'm going to find and what may stand out to me. And this little glass piece really did stand out to me. This is a Viking ebony black lighter base. Unfortunately, I did not have a lighter to go into it. I did pay $6 for this. Like I said, it was interesting, and I'd never seen anything quite like it before. So I decided to do a quick Google Lens search, and then, of course, I researched it on eBay to make sure that it was exactly what Google Lens was telling me. and I was able to sell it for a best offer of $51. Again, with the beauty products, this is a Bath & Body Works hyaluronic acid face mist. I did not know that they even sold anything like this, so that was a new news to me. So this, I want to say, came in a grab bag, like one of those Goodwill beauty grab bags that they sell. I don't remember off the top of my head how much it was, because sometimes the grab bags have a lot in them, and I forget to do the math to see how much it was, like piece by piece. I did list it for $19.99. I believe I sent out a 10% discount, and it sold for $17. So the last time I was out in the Harpers Ferry, Charlestown area, I went to their Goodwill, and I spotted this Mickey Mouse plush pillow. No, I'm sorry, throw blanket. It was originally sold at Kohl's for $30, and I paid $8.99 for it. I listed it for $25, and somebody did offer me $20. And somebody had messaged me and said, "Hey, I would really like to purchase this for my kids." So, it's the holiday season, and considering this only retailed for $30 at Kohl's, I decided to take the offer, because who knows, they could have tried looking for this at their Kohl's store and couldn't find it, or they had sold out, or whatever the case may be. So I'm happy that I was able to provide somebody with something that their kid had been wanting for a long time, or possibly because it was just manufactured last year. But I'm thrilled that that sold, even though I didn't make a terrible amount of money on it. So this is really awesome, and it's so funny the things that you remember. My grandmother had some of these in her car. I don't ever remember her using them, but I remember her having them. These are, I think they're like car cleaning wipes or something. So I was at Sophia's thrift store in Stevens City, Virginia, and it's basically an indoor flea market. A bunch of people have stuff to offer for sale, and it goes by booth. So why they call it a thrift store, I have no idea. But anyway, I paid $4.50 a piece for these, so $9, and I believe I actually sold these for $36. Like I said, it's the crazy things that you wouldn't think would have a lot of value to them, but do. In this case, it was these. And like I said, it was just something that I spotted, and I was like, I really recall seeing those when I was a kid. Like I said, it's the crazy things, crazy little things that you remember. Now, this was actually something that my mom didn't want. I don't know if she got it from like a little gift set or something. She just wasn't ever going to use it. So she offered it to me, and I have lotion, so I didn't need this at all. And I just said, what the heck, let me look it up and see if it sells for anything. So I listed it, and it did sell for a full asking price of $19.99. So do you all remember several months ago when I went to the Fayetteville Antique Mall? I went absolutely ballistic in this booth. Now, granted, it's an antique mall, but they're not strict about what they let their vendors sell. Some people have opinions about that, and yeah, we won't get into that. Anyway, so I found a booth, and she had a whole bunch of like Lancome and skin collagenesis and all kinds of products. And I was looking them up, and I just saw what she was asking for a lot of it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm really scoring big here. So I bought pretty much everything that she had, almost everything. I'm curious to see if she has more of it, because I haven't been out that way in a while. So I believe I paid, it was either $5 or $10 for these, one of the two. And I did sell this Lancome Genifique Eyelight Concentrate for a full asking price of $29.99. I think it was $10. Maybe it was 5. One of the two. Yet another item that I bought from the Queen City Flea Market is this Charlie Brown Christmas Uno game from 2007. I paid $5 for this, and it sold for full asking price of $49.99. So another item that I purchased at the Fayetteville Antique Mall and Craft Mall is this Bakugan Evolutions toy. I paid $5 for it, and it did sell for, I think it was full asking price, or maybe it was $25. It sold for $25. I think I sent out an offer of 10%, and that's what it ended up going for. So this completely surprised me. This is an antique Edwardian Ansonia Royal Bond German porcelain mantel clock, and of course it was listed as is, because if you look here, that is a chip, but somebody painted it in gold, I guess, to match it. I don't know if that was done years ago or how long ago it was done. See if the marking will show up. It probably won't. But it says Bonn, Germany. I bought this at one of our local peddlers malls, and I paid, I think, $5.40 for it. And I believe that I took a best offer of $125. I didn't think that a clock like this would have value, because a lot of the clocks that I find, they don't sell for a whole lot of money. But I love them nonetheless. I was originally going to put this in my live sale because I know that people like this style, but I'm really glad that I looked it up to see what it was going for, what other ones like it were selling for. So I was thrilled to be able to get $125 for something I only paid $5 for. So speaking of things that have been sitting for well over a year, I did find this at one of the peddlers malls we visited when we were in Kentucky last year, when the gang met up. And this is Shalimar's Guerlain. I bought this for $5 in one of the booths at one of the many peddlers malls we visited. Let me tell y'all something. You go to the Louisville, Kentucky area, go to all the peddlers malls. They had such great stuff. I did the best at those places. I wouldn't waste your time at the thrift stores. Now, granted, you can check them because you never know what you're going to find there, but check those peddlers malls, indoor flea markets, antique stores. If you're a seller or a collector, those are the places to hit in Louisville or anywhere you go. And like I said, the thrift stores are hit or miss like anything else, but you will find the better stuff at the indoor flea markets, at the peddler malls, and places like that. So yet another item that I bought at a Goodwill in one of the beauty grab bags was this Benefit eyeliner. I don't remember how much it was because it was in a grab bag, and I never did the math on how much it was per piece. But I did sell it for full asking price of $14.99. And yet another product that I was able to sell was a Dimitri James Enlightened Radiance Cream. This I want to say I paid $5 for. Again, it was from that huge lot of stuff that I bought from the Fayetteville Mall. And I sold it for a best offer of $45. So I bought this from a Goodwill I think it was in Hanover, Pennsylvania. This is Magnifique by Lancome. I paid $3.99 for it, and I had it listed for a while for $100, and somebody offered me $62, and I gladly took it. So again, another item that has sat for quite some time is this Conair Serenity Pond with wind chimes from the year 2000. I found this at a Goodwill store. I paid $7 for it. It's brand new. and was never used. So likely somebody received this as a gift years and years ago, and it probably just sat in a closet or something like that, and then it just got donated. And I listed it for $49.99, and it sat for probably a good year and a half, 2 years. And then somebody finally offered me $39.99, and of course I took that. So this item, this Lego architecture item, I purchased at the Two Crows Antique Mall. Again, a newer item sold at an antique mall. And I bought it back in 2023, like the first full year that I decided to do online selling and working part-time at Marshall's. So this is something I did end up paying up for. I paid $26 for this. Now, of course, I was able to look it up and made sure that it was worth paying that price. And I sold it for, I want to say it was like $65. Let's see. No, I'm sorry. I sold it for $70. So I made, what's that? $44 on this? Not bad. So yet another item I picked up at Sophia's thrift store was this flocked black Halloween cat wallflower plug. Very, very cute. I paid $3 for it, and it sold for $17. Now these last three items actually just sold within the last hour or so of me filming this. So I always mention, if you see old Avon items, pick them up and research them if you can, because you just never know. So this is Avon's Soothing Seas Aromatherapy Silky Conditioning Shampoo, brand new. I bought this when I was in New Jersey with the Old Curiosity Shop. I paid $3.99 for two products in one of their beauty bags, so I ended up spending only $2 on this. I listed it really high because there was nothing to compare it to. And somebody offered me $30, and I was not going to hesitate to take that because I had nothing to compare it to, so I wouldn't have known. So I happily accepted it because why not? So if you all remember, a few months ago, somebody had bought this Clinique mirror from me, and they requested a return because they didn't realize the size of it, or it was the wrong size that this guy's wife was looking for. Anyway, so I got it back, and I relisted it, and I believe I paid $2 for this, and it resold for I believe I sent out like a 10% offer for $13. And the final item I'd like to share with you all is something that I picked up at the flea market in Winchester, Virginia. This is the 1987 Richard Simmons Deal-A-Meal plan cards. I don't know if it was complete or not. There were 78 cards in total with the holder. I bought this for $5, and somebody offered me $49.99 for it, so I gladly accepted that. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all had a very festive and happy New Year and are looking forward to seeing what the New Year brings. I'm very excited to see what 2025 will bring. If you have any great sales that you want to mention you sold during the holiday season, let me know down below in the comment section. I would love to know. So be on the lookout for another haul video on Friday, and I should be doing another sale the following weekend. So thank you all so much for watching. Bye.